All right, good morning everybody. It's a few minutes before 7 a.m. Sun's not quite up yet, but it is a little cold for my taste out here right now. So, jacket again, and I put a different jacket on specifically so on the video you can tell it's a different day. I know the lighting's gonna show that as well, but today we're doing the same thing as yesterday, starting with this one first. So we're gonna do exactly what we did yesterday. We're gonna 2 practice ends, 6 scoring ends with the Mathews, then 6 scoring ends with the Prime. Because both those were shot yesterday and I haven't touched a thing, I'm not going to take one sight in end when I switch to the Prime. There should be no need. It's perfectly sighted in from yesterday. So we should be able to get right into this and see if I can shoot better than yesterday and if the results are any different. So let me pan the camera just a tiny bit. So look about, that should get me in the frame mostly, a little bit more. All right, let's do this. Put the blinder down just to get that started. Whew, that was rough. Man, that did not feel good at all. Fortunately, that's why we get a couple practice ends to hopefully get those kinks out. Tell you what, I do not feel good right now. It is not comfortable, feels awkward. So let's use these practice ends to our maximum advantage. These are literally the first 3 shots I've taken. I didn't draw back before I turned on the camera. There, starting to be able to settle my muscles a little bit. So someone had asked why I don't increase the draw weight if I want more holding weight, and that's mainly because of just physical limitations on my part. I'm not a big guy. I'm rather historically I've been rather injury prone when I stress my body too hard. So 54 to 55 pounds, my shoulder's happy. And I have shot 60 pounds before when I wanted, you know, the most speed I could get out of my PSC Performax 3D for 3D, and I was like, this is just painful. It just, you know, my shoulder would creak the first few shots, and then sure, once it gets warmed up, but just risk injury. So we're sticking with the lightweight poundage. I mean, not lightweight, but you know, 54 to 55 is not heavyweight. Okay, I'm gonna let down. I was holding well, but I started losing my balance a little bit, and then the shot wasn't gonna go off, so we'll do it again. All right, wow, that was horribly rough. All right, we got one more of those, and then the real deal. All right. If you're wondering, do I stretch or anything? Yes, I do. I did that in the house before I came out here. I don't do that out here in the cold. So it's not like I came out here. I didn't just get out of bed and pick up the bow. You know, I have a pretty rigid routine for getting up at a certain time every morning. You know, eating breakfast, taking a hot shower, stretching. So yes, I did not come out here. So things just aren't feeling perfect this morning. That was a pretty rough end for practice. Let's see if we can clean that up now. It was a better hold. Not that I want to hold that long, but I'm still trying to get everything to start working. Shots are starting to feel a little stronger, a little steadier. All right, I think those were strong shots, but we'll see where they are when I get down there. Yeah, all right, that was really strong shooting, so it doesn't get a lot better than that. I'm gonna say that I'm as warmed up as I need to be, and besides that, even if I wasn't, my 2 practice ends are done. So let's get into it. First scoring end. Sorry, losing my balance. If you wonder why I do this, it's because with a click, if I reach click and let down and don't reset the hook, it will stay at the click. It can't go backwards over that little ridge. So then what happens is you pull back and you never hear the click, and then you just fire. So for those of you who aren't used to a hinge, you see me do that, it's not some weird little tick that I've got. It's basically clearing the moon on this hook back off of the sear, or the sear off the moon, so that it can go back and be reset. All right, which how many arrows have I fired? 2. Okay. So if you shoot no click, you don't have to do that, because you're never hitting a little lip on the edge of the moon that you can't come back from. Oh boy, that was never settled. Just went off a little early. Not sure where it went, but I'm pretty sure it was low, right? All right, let's go look at those. All right out of the gate I've dropped 2. That's not the way you want to do it, but see if I can improve things a little bit. Okay, that was a poor shot. I don't know where it went. It may not have been a bad result, but it was a poor shot. All right, let's go see where those went. All right, yeah, that one poor shot was out, so dropped another. We're gonna move the sight up just a couple ticks, see what happens, because I tend to be hitting around the top fringe more than the bottom. When I miss, it's a poor shot usually, but even when the good shots are going in, they seem to be a little bit on the high side. So let's give it a couple clicks. Third end. Whoops. Never really got settled before that one. Alright, let's go take a look at those. Yep, dropped another. Alright, fourth end. I am struggling a bit with the peep right now on this one. Not making excuses, just saying I find myself consciously cramping down more into it. I'd like the peep to be about that much higher for 20 yards, but I'm not going to touch it because I'm going to go right back to long distance as soon as this review is over. Alright, that was better. Didn't misfire any. Alright, well, I don't know what it is about that top right spot, but I just keep hitting high on it, and I don't think there's any more adjustments I need to make except to shoot better. The adjustments need to come from within, let's say that. What was that, fourth end? Dropped 5 already? Anyway, fifth end. Feel like I'm starting to get into a groove better now. Too bad it's halfway through our first 6 ends, but whatever. Yeah, I'm definitely fighting the peep. I keep doing this. It's starting to annoy me a little bit because I realize that I'm not centering up the scope in the peep because I really want the peep to be higher. I think I pushed that one high. That was too much front hand. Alright, well I dropped 3. So I'm already well off the pace of even yesterday, which was not good. Which is a little frustrating, but big deal. Still gonna finish it up, and it'll still be a valid comparison because if I'm shooting terribly, I'll shoot terribly with the Prime, and it'll all be fair. After all, this is not about the skill of the archer, or you wouldn't even be wasting your time watching me in all likelihood, should have let that down rather than, I don't know where it went, but it wasn't a good execution. I am all over the place now. I mean, it was just wobbling. All right, let's go see where those went. All right, that was a real kick in the gut. 10 down after 6 ends. That's some of my really digging deep on the poor shooting side of things. But let's pull the prime out, shoot 6 more ends, see where things end up. All right, be back in a bit. All right, I've got the prime. In all likelihood, if I shoot worse than I just did, the wheels have fallen off completely. So I don't know what to make of this, except that if my results are consistent with the first half, then at least it will show that the bows can both shoot very well. Oh, I left my other. If this bow shoots better, then that should be a strong selling point, because I shoot the Mathews well, and I plan on sticking with the Mathews. I've made no bones about that up to this point. But this bow could definitely shoot, so let's see what happens. Wind her back down. Alright, so the peep height definitely feels better on this one. Let's see where the arrows ended up. Alright, that second one was high again. I don't know what I'm doing with that target, but I'm going to give this, they all were a little bit high. Give that a couple clicks. Something about that second spot, I just keep pushing them high. So that's on me as a shooter to improve. I think I did it again, dang it. That's frustrating. I will say this bow holds extremely steady. It has a great balance and a great hold. So that was one thing I didn't really discuss too much in the comparisons because they're both just great. They both settle and hold extremely well. I'm running the V-bar setup because I find that helps me settle quicker and have less side-to-side movement. When I say side-to-side, I mean with my bubble. Sorry, my phone's blowing up. And I feel like there was a lot of strong shooting there, but I'm not sure where they went, so let's go find out. Well, there was strong shooting on the last 2 arrows. That second one, I pushed it so high it went into the blue. That was a straight 4. I mean, that was an ugly miss. That wasn't even a line cutter, and I didn't see that coming. So one of the things that I had mentioned, I don't remember where, but this certainly bears witness to that, is with me, I feel like with the grip, especially on the Mathews, I tend to have smaller high-low misses. That was a radical miss that I didn't realize. I knew it was a little high. I didn't think it was fully into the blue. So that's one of the things that I like, is the fact that with that particular angled grip, the way that I tend to hold the bow, I tend to have a less vertical variation on my misses. So that's not saying there's, like I said, anything wrong with this grip. It's what your personal preference is. I mean, this grip's comfortable. It's just that the way I tend to heel, how much pressure I put on the heel, tends to affect my high-lows more with this design. I think I did it again. I don't know what's going on with that second target. I don't know why I keep shooting high. It's not like I'm seeing, all my previous shots and I'm aiming for them. I can barely tell where the arrows are even going. But with a little bit of give in these cable stops, because they've got a rubber surround, it does make pulling through the hinge extremely smooth and easy. I actually like that. I know some people want the really hard wall. But I'm finding this to be pretty easy to execute. And that's where these get the nod on options for your cable stops. You can have it soft or hard as far as the give goes, which is cool. All right, let's go see where those went. I shot another 4 in the exact same hole. I don't know what to say. It's a tough morning. Some days are like that. But it's still a fair comparison. I struggled with the Mathews. I'm struggling with the Prime. A couple of those shots were excellent, and a couple of them really not so much. I'm going to really try to settle and slow my execution on this one down to make sure that I'm not doing anything weird, because I keep pushing them high. All right, let's go see where those went. All right, the first clean end. Sorry, that's kind of funny actually though. I think my second practice end was clean, and now what is that? The 10th end. Before I first finally got a clean 5X on a 5 spot. That's bad. That's not good. I think I dropped that one low. I'm just struggling with that spot. Well, it is what it is. All right, well, this is unfortunately embarrassingly bad, but oh well. It's about the same point at which I started to struggle yesterday, only I feel like my misses are actually bigger with this bow when I'm missing. When I don't make a perfect shot, I feel like the misses are by a larger margin. I'm not doing measurements up there. I'm just kind of looking at the target. Obviously, I haven't shot any fours, period, with the Mathews. I shot 2 of these that I didn't think were that bad. I shot very few left-right full-blown misses where they wouldn't have been in the X-ring from a, lateral, horizontal, whatever perspective, if the height was correct. And I have done that with this bow as well. So I feel like on both ends, this grip isn't keeping me as focused on the spot through the entire execution from the time I release the arrow. And again, there's nothing wrong with it. It's the way I tend to hold the bow. And I didn't realize that or discover that until I had tried the angle, because I was having the same problem with the Mathews before I switched to the higher angled grip. So I have, strong reason to believe that it tends to be the way I hold the bow. Tough day. Tough day. This is where I would like to just stop the camera and chuck all of this, but it's not about showing me on my best day. It's about an honest review comparison, and that's what you're getting, is the brutal, honest truth of how poorly I can shoot when I'm struggling. Let's go pull those. Alright, that concludes the review, and I apologize for not being able to demonstrate better shooting. Not that I need to apologize, but that wasn't a great advertisement for either product, in the sense that they're very capable bows. I'm the problem, but it was still a fair and valid comparison, because I struggled the whole time from the first practice end. I had a great second practice end, and then proceeded to struggle all the way through. So that said, when I'm struggling, my misses miss by a smaller margin with the Mathews than they do with the Prime. Take that for what it's worth. That, like I've said, I've said it again, it's personal preference. I believe the majority of that is due to the grip. The holding weight, now that it's at about 13.2, seems to have gotten into more of a sweet spot for me, where it doesn't seem to be too much of a problem. But the grip is definitely not helping me save some of those points. So I dropped 12 total points, but 2 of them were 4s, and that's a huge... I didn't drop 12 total points. I dropped 12... How do I put it? I dropped 10 X's, but then I dropped 2 points. So I'm counting the misses off of X, and I count a miss at 4 as 2 points. So if you were doing the NFAA championship style scoring, where you get 6 points for an X and 5 points for the white, I would have dropped 12 points. But if you're doing traditional NFAA scoring, where you're going off the 300 and then X count, I would have gotten cleaned by a whole bunch of people who shot a 300, 28X or something like that, because I did not keep them in the white with the Prime. So take all of that with, you know, a grain of salt as far as my level of shooting, but it's all valid information, and it's for you to help make your own decision. I know what I've chosen. I've chosen to stick with the Mathews. From day one, I basically pointed out that I like the grip options and I like the holding weight and the less relaxed back wall a little bit better because I feel it strengthens my shooting. As far as shootability goes, this Prime is an outstanding bow. It holds just as well as the Mathews. They both hold incredibly well. They both have this extremely small amount of aftershock. They're very comfortable to shoot. So I'm not giving any nod to one being a better bow than the other. I tend to shoot the Mathews more consistently, so that's the bow. And I tend to prefer the feel a little bit because of you know, the couple major factors I pointed out. So I'm going to be selling this Prime because I just don't need more bows in the house. I need less bows in the house, and I need to focus more on just my shooting. So that's it for now. I might come back out in a couple days. I need to be home when my wife's going to be out with my son, and my daughter's too young to leave home by herself. So I was thinking of doing a video on just showing that you can still shoot well with an older bow. I've got a 2016 Darton Vegas that will pound if I can shoot it well. So I may come out here with the fatties, because that one's set up for fatties, and show that, you know, it's absolutely as capable as either of these bows. I just don't prefer shooting it for lighter arrows at longer distance because it's too twangy with the forward limb design for that kind of shooting. But with a real heavy aluminum arrow at short distance, it shines. So I may do that. We'll have to see what the timing is, but I was thinking about that because obviously everybody gets inundated with the newest, latest, and greatest, and there's nothing wrong with trying new stuff out. I love to try new stuff out, but don't want to get caught up in the bow makes the shooter. The bow does not make the shooter, and I've never said that. I don't believe that. I believe the shooter can, you know, a good shooter can shoot well with any bow. So that's it for today. I'll see you guys again the next time. Bye.